live. It says we're live now.
Really?
Yeah.
Come on, my phone. My phone won't even tell me that we're live. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, maybe there. Oh, yes. Yep. I believe you.
Here we go. It
There it
takes so
is.
long. Why does it take so long? That's like 30 seconds to get on there.
All
Isn't it
right.
funny how immediate we need to be these days? I was talking yesterday about dubbing tapes and how long it used to take to dub a tape.
Well, it took the whole length of the tape.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
like could be
fancy that.
45 minutes or 60 minutes or whatever else.
Oh, do you remember? And you'd have to just leave the room. But
Yeah.
if it was going on the other side, depending on your technology at the time, you would have to get back there in time to switch tapes and turn it over.
Yes.
I swear to God, have you ever noticed this
Why do
before
you
we hit
swear to
record?
God?
And
You shouldn't swear to
yeah,
God so much. Is that
I
like is
know.
that
Yeah,
swear? It's different to swear at, isn't it?
yeah. It
Yeah.
was horrible when you got an ad. Absolutely,
Yeah,
Fiona
it's so
Davis. It was
true.
horrible.
It was horrible. Just
Did
push pause.
you remember
Mm.
how, like, when you were growing up and
Yeah,
you were in the car,
yeah,
you would only listen
yeah,
to whatever it was that your parents were listening to.
yeah.
But now the times have changed so much. I don't know what it was like when Jackson was a wee boy, but the times have changed so much that when you're in the car with your young kids, there is no chance in hell that you are listening to whatever you want to listen to. You are listening to whatever it is that your kids want to listen to. And here's the other thing. They are so used to Spotify
Yeah.
and listen on demand that they have no patience for a bad song or a song they don't like. When we were growing up, kids, we had to
Yes.
wait all day for Kylie Minogue, I Can't Get You Out of My Head, or whatever it is that you were listening to come on. You
Brothers in
were
arms.
waiting,
Yeah,
Brothers in Arms,
yeah,
Happy Birthday, Helen.
yeah.
You were
Things
waiting
are
all
starting to hit.
day with just a hope and nothing more than you would get to listen to your song.
Did you
And
say that because Helen Pocock's watching?
always say happy birthday, Helen, because
Yeah,
Helen
excellent.
Pocock is here
Yeah.
whenever we are here. And we are not even here that regularly. Helen Pocock must have the most annoying notification that just must make the loudest noises that she just has to turn it off and log on.
It's amazing.
Just a quick
Amazing.
David Attenborough moment. We have a baby plover in my muddy front yard. Can you see that baby plover? Can you see it?
Mm.
No?
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can you see it? Just
Wow.
move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby plover. Plovers will swoop big time.
Really?
Big time around
I
here.
dare to
I
catch
mean,
one.
well, the only thing about plovers, which I don't know if this is fact or fiction, they'll swoop, but they won't hit. With magpies,
They
will
hit.
hit.
Yeah, they rip
They hit.
shreds through. Let's
I
just
was
say
getting the
hello to
car the other
everybody, and
day.
then let's
Oh,
go
yeah,
live
sorry.
because we
Yeah,
could just
okay,
have a
okay.
chat all day. You're in that. Marcus doesn't
I'm
have
in
to go
that
to
mode.
footy today. He doesn't have to go to footy, so he's in relax mode with a capital R. So,
Please.
and I've still got work to do. So,
Me too. I'm just enjoying my work. This is work, isn't it? Or is this not really work? We love
this
it.
is awesome. This is awesome.
Anyway, sorry.
All
Say
right.
hello, sir. I'll stop talking.
I'll,
I'm muting it.
I'll say hi to Helen, Fiona, and Wendy, and Robin, and Lloydie, um, and Pina, and people are finding you funny, PC, which I love. That's great. Helen
I've got to tell you a
Pocock
story
gave you
about
a double
Pina.
laugh. Sandy Marsh gave you a laugh. And Helen says she's been nesting in the golf course. No, we have them nesting in the golf course, and they are attacking everyone. We can't have
Mm.
that. They just need a good
They nest
seven
wherever they want.
iron.
They
They
nest in
need
the
a
middle of the.
7 iron to the forehead. That's what they need.
Hello to our vegan friends out there that just swerved off the side of the road. Hey, Pina Hurley,
Yeah.
I met in person,
Did you?
uh, meaningfully. Yeah, because I was doing Kyabram, Shepparton,
Oh,
Albury.
yes. Sellouts, by the way, sellout crowds because I know that because, yeah, I know that
Good.
because like Jackson's mum's family
Oh,
all wanted
yes.
to go and they said, we can't go, sold out.
Couldn't get tickets. Pina Hurley is Liz Sefton's sister. So Liz Sefton is organising these
Yes.
events in Shep and Kite for me. And Pina's like, hi. I was like, oh, Pina Hurley. And she's like, Pina's my sister. And I was like, no. No, and I'm like, you've got to be joking because like we see Pina Hurley every Wednesday on 100 Not Out.
Yes, we do.
And so anyway, and Sandy Marsh, who's here, was there last week in Kyabram, and yeah. Anyway, feeling the love. It's nice to have seen some of these people in the flesh, Damo,
Yeah,
recently.
I bet. How
Yeah.
good's being in the flesh is the best.
Oh, I better hit record because we'll talk, and I won't have recorded an episode, will we?
Pina said it was so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. All right, I'm gonna hit record, Damo.
Because Kyabram has plovers on every corner.
You can't go for a walk in Kyabram. You just get
And
your
I'll tell you
head
what,
up.
they do have Kyabram, heaps of canola right now.
Hmm.
Heaps of canola.
Yeah,
Like
I know.
thousands of acres of canola.
I don't know. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's a story for another day. All right, all right. I can ask you this actually, Damo, and now that it's on Facebook before I hit record. Like, this is a terrible thing to say. I'm just curious, like, because now it makes me wonder about all the sunflower fields that I just love in France. Like, most of that canola is going to go into the oil that makes our fish and chips, right?
Yeah, true.
So I love fish and chips, by the way, but
F&Cs.
it also goes into the other foods that make so many people fat, sick, and tired, right?
Yes.
So I know I probably need to do a bit of work on this, but like, it's a bit of a sad. Like, the downside seems to outweigh the upside. But am I being just terrible in saying that? Because I love the canola too. I've got photos of my dad in front of the canola. Like, I love it. But I'm like,
It brings all the bees to the yard. That's a good thing. Not all the boys, just the bees. It's a crop which has become a commodity, right? So on the world market, canola has become quite expensive. And so it makes more sense for farmers to grow canola than it does wheat. When the wheat price is dropping and the canola price is going up, why
yeah,
wouldn't you make it? Why
it's a
wouldn't
good
you grow
business
it?
decision.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, just got me thinking. And now that you've brought it up, I was like, I haven't spoken to anyone about this. It's like, oh, isn't it going in quarter pounders? Anyway, let's talk about other things. Okay. this chat could go
Good for
anywhere today.
allergies. Great for allergies. Everyone's getting
Yeah.
hay fever. Selling
Um,
allergy G like it's going out of fashion, they would be, I reckon.
all right, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Hello and welcome to 100 Not Out, a weekly show dedicated to helping you master the art of aging well. Marcus Piercy with you for episode 494. And wouldn't you know it, the Greek god of wellness, my brother from another mother, getting ready to get on a plane in 8 or 9 months' time. Dr. Damien Christoph, how are you, great man?
Oh, great. Thank you, Piercy. So excited, I have to tell you. This is on my bucket list. And the reason why I bring up bucket list is because I love buckets and I love lists. And we're going to talk about that today because some people, you were telling me before when we're off air, that some people think you shouldn't have a bucket list, that it's a scorn on society to have a bucket list. So I'd love us to talk about that today. But I'm pumped. I'm
Well,
going to tell you, I actually
yes.
went to the travel agent the other day and said, hey, Megan, I'm going to Ikaria. She goes, you going again? I go, yeah, I'm going again. And I need you to book me some flights. And she goes, what are your dates? I told her the dates. She goes, the flights aren't even open for those dates yet. I said, lock them in. But they will be now. That was a couple of weeks ago. That was when we had spoken about it and locked it in. But we're announcing that, now. So anyway, I am pumped to go to Greece.
There's a lot in all of that. One, do travel agents still exist? That's amazing.
Yeah, they do.
A bit like cassette tapes. I thought they were well and truly out, and you can only buy flights online these days. 2, dates. Absolutely, we are going to Ikaria June 12 to 21, which we are going to be talking about on this podcast today. And yes, 3, some people, and don't want to get too narky here, but some people just cannot find the joy and happiness in ticking off a bucket list item in life. And some people think that all it does is set up for failure. It's kind of like, let's be honest, it's the people that don't want to try just in case it doesn't work. They don't want to fall in love just in case they end the relationship. They don't want to barrack for a team just in case they lose. But as we say in Sport Demo, if you want to win, you've got to risk losing. And that's the name of the game.
Is that what we say in sport? That's hilarious, Tommy. I think that's awesome. Is that really what we say?
Well, it's you've got to be prepared to lose. If you want to win, you've got to be prepared to lose.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Good.
but
I love
anyway,
it. Yeah. Good.
coming back to the big stuff. It is a little bit nerve-wracking to say that I know you've been overseas 27 times since the world reopened again, but it is a bit nerve-wracking to say that we are going to Europe again in 2023 to resume what was an annual experience, this Greek island longevity experience that has been a mainstay of this podcast. We haven't spoken about it for a very long time because we've almost been too nervous to talk about it. In recent episodes, we've been saying, well, maybe you can go to the website and check things out and express your interest, which a number of people already have. But it does give us a great amount of joy and excitement to say that you can now officially apply. This is a by application only trip. There is no more than 20 human beings that join us on this little Greek island known as the island where people forget to die. We don't take anyone with us. It has to be people that we like and that we want to spend time with, but it's also people that we think will be great in this group. So, Damo, before we start kind of going through some of the beautiful experiences, which is a bit of a reminiscing, but it's also a great lesson. This episode is like a crash course in like European longevity that you might want to apply to your Australian or New Zealand or wherever you live lifestyle. What is it that you love most about going to Ikaria for 10 days with a group of like-minded people? What do you get out of this trip, brother?
I love the nude beach. No, no, I'm joking. That's not true.
No, you're not joking. That
That's
wasn't
not
on the
true.
script, and now I know why you like to
Yeah,
go because
that's
yes,
fine. Yeah.
the closest beach that we never tell anyone about until we're there is a nude beach, and there you go. The rabbit is out of the hat. That's why you've been coming all these years.
It's not
Wow,
true.
wow.
No. Well, I'll tell you what. When you land at the airport at Ikaria on the other end of the island to where we stay, and you jump on this tiny little bus and you go on the windy roads all the way around, and it takes you a number of hours to get to Nas, you're reminded of the ancient history of the Greeks, and I immediately feel like I've come home. I have not 1 ounce of Greek heritage in my body at all, but it feels like this is the place you're meant to be. And so when I land there, I feel like I'm bathed in romance, the romance of the history of Greece, and I just absolutely love it. I felt that way also when I went to Rome just recently, but I have to tell you, the rawness of Ikaria is something that most people just won't ever experience unless you go to one of these islands where people forget to die, and there's only one of them, which would be Ikaria. If you don't get to go there, then you won't get to experience it. But the rawness of it, like, it's just so... It's not third world. It's just not developed. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
So when you say rawness, because I love this, I love the way that you've explained this. When you go to Rome, you can feel the heritage, but it's a developed city. When you go to Ikaria, you can feel that same level of ancient wisdom, but there's no supermarkets, there's no high rises, there's no developments, there's no, it's just a natural wonder.
It's flat.
But, I do wonder about this with heritage because I'm the same as you and I feel exactly the same as you, that I can trace my family history. I did share this with my dad the other day. Shout out to DP who never listens and doesn't know what a podcast is.
Yep.
He's
G'day,
my
DP.
best mate and I love him.
Yeah.
I trace his history back to 1520, like
really?
Literally 500 years, but it goes back to Germany.
Wow.
But don't you think at some point you go to ancestry.com, it's a great app, but you go to Ikaria. I reckon somewhere in the 4th century BC, you and I were Greek brothers in Ikaria.
No.
Drinking the wine with Homer.
No.
No?
I don't reckon we were. I would love to think that we were. But this is where my science brain gets into me, and I love the art and the philosophy of all of this, but the science tells me that, because I've had genes tested, and my dad had his genes tested, we have 0% Greek genes, like zero.
How far does it go back? How can technology measure like who your ancestors were like 5,000 years ago?
But that's where your genes came from. That's how you know. Like that's
right.
That's how you know. That's That's as
It's
like
interesting.
I'm more related to a pterodactyl than I am a Greek person. Essentially, that's what that's saying. But I would love to think, like when we go, and you've seen this happen, like we're walking through the streets of Ikaria, and people go, my son, my son. You know, they think that I'm Greek, and so it's an amazing experience, and it fills my bucket to actually go there. And and experience it. But I think what I love is this beautiful blend of the original Greek culture that we are so fascinated with. You and I are so fascinated with. Where we learn about how they live a long time. We're immersed in that. And there's no desire for them to become westernized. So they're not, and the extent to which they're westernized is maybe a frappe. But apart from that, piece of beverage, it's not going to call it food. It's not even nice. But like the frappe that you can get in Ikaria, which is like a coffee put through a whizzer thing, and it's Nespresso. So it's not even, no, it's not Nespresso. It's Nescafe. It's not even nice. But you still have to order it when you get there. But you get to be in that, and so I love that there's this blend of so old and this attempt to kind of get new, and they just can't do it. They can't do new. It's only old, which is
No, and
awesome.
it's interesting. It's so true. And as Thea tells the group when we arrive, Ikaria either sucks you in or spits you out. And obviously, it's
Yes.
very obvious that it's definitely sucked Damo and I and the people that have come with us and people that have come with us multiple times in. But then on the new world, you say it's so stuck in the old world, but in the new world, it is the envy of most of the world in that it experiences 80% less dementia, 50% less cancer, 20% less heart disease. And like most Greek islands, it's a short flight. It's a 1 hour flight. We get on that small plane, Damo, and we land on the
Yes, we do.
windswept airstrip with our hair, no, not your hair, but our hair blowing everywhere.
Only when my shirt's off.
When you get
that's
ready for your tanning competition.
that's not true either. That's not true either.
And,
But
and we take this beautiful scenic drive to Nas because
yeah.
it's about an hour and a half to get there. And Ikaria is a very hilly island, so you are like that is impressed upon you very quickly when we hop into the bus and we're driving because we go up and down. It feels like
And around.
and around
Yeah.
to get there. And it is one of those experiences where you go, oh my gosh, this is unlike any place I've ever been in my whole entire life.
That's so true. It is so true. And so as we arrive in all the little towns along the way, and I always forget their names, and it's usually by about
Evdilos and
Evdilos,
Armanistes.
Armanistes. That's the one I always forget. Where's the ice cream? Where do we go for the ice cream?
Armanistes.
Armanistes, yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from Nas, it's my favourite town because there's ice cream there. But there's like, as we drive around and we enter these towns, we enter these one lane, roads. Everyone has to reverse back up the hill because there's a bus coming. It's easy for the little cars to reverse back. It's just so special. It's so special. But I also love the simplicity of the food. Like I really love it. Everybody can eat it. It doesn't matter if you've got FODMAP issues, if you're gluten intolerant, whatever. Like everybody can eat the food that is there. They not only do they make an effort, but all of the foods are easy to consume, and they don't upset people. Which is really quite amazing.
And I think I love that you've said this because I think a lot of people, particularly in Australia, would say that they feel that their dietary choices are made to be really difficult by other people in Australia, like not all the time, but it just feels like an impost. Whereas in Ikaria, they are just so happy, and it's easy for them to accommodate to whatever diet or whatever your dietary wishes are. I think the lifestyle is something I'd like to chat with you about because we speak about often on the podcast of that importance of connection. We really do strive when we're there to live with the locals, to not be the tourists, to actually, go and see Marika, the next door neighbor, or go up to Yanni and Joanna, Thea's auntie and uncle, who kind of live up the hill. Go to the Panaghetis. I always remember, Damo, you helping the cleanup of the Panaghetti the next day when we were there for Nas's Panaghetti. Helen's asked, is there oat milk lattes in Ikaria? Well, we haven't been there since 2019. They may, but I don't know that oats are part of the crop part of the natural environment over there, Damo, but they don't mind a bit of a, what do they have? Do they have cow's milk or goat milk
Yeah.
over there in the coffee?
They generally
Or
use
just
cow's
black?
milk. Yeah,
Yeah.
both. Yeah, generally they're using cow's milk, but you can get goat milk. And I think that's probably what Helen was trying to ask. She has left off the G because I'm pretty sure they don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. The goat milk latte for you,
go,
Helen.
yeah, it won't be oat milk. I'm pretty certain that you, if you ask for oat milk or rice milk or almond milk, they'd look at you as if to say, "How do you get milk from that?" Like they won't get
Yes.
it. They won't get it. It's so
Just
simple.
like when we went for a run and they could not comprehend why we would have gone for a run to a destination that didn't exist.
That's
It wasn't
right.
a neighbour's house. It wasn't to an appointment. It wasn't for any other reason than just to go for a run. They were like, I just thought you walked and, to neighbours' houses to drink wine and eat food. But these are the things that kind of are mind benders, when you're on the island. I think, Damo, of some of our walks where, like you mentioned earlier about the buses and, we might go to places where the bus couldn't fit down the path. So I think we'd go and harvest. One of the great workshops or experiences of this trip is making your own essential oil. The first year, I think it was peppermint. The second
Yeah.
year, we harvested our own rosemary.
Yeah.
And we sat around having tea whilst literally the rosemary is going through and being distilled into oil. But
After it had
walk
been
there,
picked, like it literally been picked only half an hour before that. So it was
by all of us in the group.
Yeah. We made our own
know.
essential oil while we sipped tea. It was the best.
And then they brought it to us the next day and we all went home with it. Fabulous. Yeah. But I remember we had like was it a 20 or 30 minute walk, a 1 or 2K walk up paths and down and everything to get to this place.
Yeah.
Because
the bus
it just wasn't. Yeah. And that's just like normal for them. And then they get so much movement, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a really great opportunity just to connect with the nature and the forest in that area, and just to look around and to look at the herbs, because there's a whole bunch of herbs that kind of grow on the sides of the roads. That you wouldn't think are herbs. You walk around the suburbs of Australia, and you might see a plant that you think's a weed, but it's actually a herb, and so a medicinal herb. So as we're walking through there, often I'll point out, oh, there's a herb over there. Check out that herb; it's good for your lungs. Or look at that herb; it's good for your eyes, or whatever else. So, and that's really awesome. And yes, and Helen says, and the goats, absolutely. There's goats everywhere. But it's like, goats in Greece are like sheep are to New Zealand. They're everywhere.
Yeah. And when you go to the Panagedi and we're having the big festival and we're eating the food and drinking the wine and dancing,
yes,
led by Damo, who is one of the great Panagedi dancers.
Oh,
we
that's
have boiled goat,
it's the reverse.
Roasted goat, goat broth to line the stomachs on arrival.
Yeah.
There's tzatziki, there's bread, there's wine, there's Greek salad, and as always, our favourite, there are Ikaria and hot chips.
Yes.
To allow you to dance the night away. And so it is
Lucamatis.
one of those. Yeah, Lucamatis as well, which is like the fried donuts. Damo's always looking for some spanakopita, and sometimes we go to Ikaria when the spinach isn't in season, and he has to settle for, like, is it zucchini?
Yeah.
Which sometimes gets a little bit of a lip wobble from you. Just you're a bit sad at that.
Well, my expectation's been modified because I know that spinach is, it's a different time of the year. We don't get spinach when we go, so I know that I'm going to get zucchini copita.
You do know that. And if you're listening to this now and going, I want to see the photos, because I'm looking at the website right now, we've got a heap of photos on there that are like, my eyes are buzzing because there's so many different photos of our times, but it's all the food and the dancing. There's photos here of thermal hot springs, Damo. So what we do on day one, having traveled for 24 hours just to get there, is we go to one of the oldest hot springs on the planet, known to be one of the most curative and healing hot springs. Infusions of gold, silver, sulfur, and other mineral elements from the spring to leave us all very relaxed and cleansed and ready to kind of begin this longevity experience. And you go there and there's the natural hot springs, like you dive into the ocean. Well, you don't dive, you go down the little thing, don't you? And then you got to swim over to the rock pool.
You swim through the cold to get to the warm and the hot, and you don't want to leave the hot because it feels so good, and you're there for ages. And then but then you brave it and you get back through the cold, and then we might go into the human-made hot springs, which are still using the thermal water.
Yeah.
Still the same water. It's just inside undercover. It's all warm in there. It's like a steam room.
And if you're not fond of swimming, Damo has his Cert 1 in swimming and will like piggyback
Third
people,
one.
whatever it's called,
Third
Cert
one.
4. I don't know. What is
Third
it?
one.
So it's all Riggy-Dig.
Yeah.
I looked at some high-end first aid kits, Damo, in case anyone cuts themselves as they jump off the bridge in Therma, because, every now and again we might have a little, competition of diving into the ocean after the hot spring action. And that's had some pretty powerful benefits
Wow.
for people.
Oh yeah, hasn't it? Like there's been people that have been terrified of just taking that step, like that leap. And it's not even that. It's not for us. Like it's not that far. Like the fall's not that far. It's what is it? 6 feet, maybe 7 feet or something. But
10 meters? I don't know. No, I'm joking.
it's
Yeah,
Olympic.
6 feet. Yeah,
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 yeah, it's Olympic.
yeah.
So yeah, but it's there's so many little things. Whether it be a walk that challenges you, whether it be jumping off, you know, perfectly formed walls into water, which is a bit choppy with fish in there, or whether it be trying foods you've never tried before, or going to the apiary and seeing the bees, just having all these different experiences, walking up mountains and going into the surf, and there's just lots of little challenges that people get a chance to really experience.
Yes, and it's all very, as you say all this, it's not like a tour where you have like your plan set out for the day and it's very clock based. There is no clocks in Ikaria. We never talk about the time unless it's like everything has an ish in it. Breakfast is at 7:30 ish, 8 ish. Dinner is at 6 ish. But it's not like the only things you have to be there for is a bus that's leaving at X time. But still, we will generally wait for you most of the time. But it's very natural. There won't be exercise sessions
Yeah.
that start at X time. We'll go for a hike or we'll walk somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll go for a swim in the beach. We'll play ball. We definitely have to take tennis balls because I'm just looking at photos of us all playing, like, what is it, throw and catch in the ocean. But even things like just making food, we get involved in, what we might call cooking classes. But, we can walk into Thea's kitchen and help make some dinner and learn about the food. And Damo will find, I always remember Damo, I say this all the time, but like, you found amaranth on the side of the road once and you were like, oh, we use the seeds. And they're like, Thea's like, we don't use the seeds, we use the greens. And then we went to Thayer's and we cooked up the greens and had wild amaranth greens as part of our dinner.
My gosh, I just had a tech fail where somebody called my phone and my headphones jumped over to my phone and I was listening to our conversation from 40 seconds ago and I've been trying to get it back, so I don't know what you said, but I'll just say
That's
yes.
okay. It's just another reason
yes.
why I don't have AirPods, because I still can't find someone
I don't
that's
know why
got an
they
awesome
did that.
experience with them. But
Apple, I hate your guts.
That's yeah, get it going, Apple. But there's things like we go to a winery and we are steeped in history that have grapes so old that
Afianis, yes.
Homer referred to them, in the Odyssey, which I'm reading at the moment. And I want to read it before we get to Ikaria in June. But we go to Afiani's winery. Gus will get his annual chiropractic adjustment from you, and we will have the best food and the best wine.
Yeah.
We've harvested the essential oil. We go for mountain and coastal walks. We go to multiple villages and connect with the locals. We go to the hot springs, the beach. We cook food. We farm with Ilya. We go to Ilya and Thea's farm and we harvest. We may go up to Thea, to Yanni and Joanna's and help them pick the strawberries and the lemons. There's some rest time in there, which some people just love, because I always remember the Townsends, one of our previous guests, saying that they haven't done a day at the beach just because, since they don't know how long, and we had a day at the beach and it was just divine, so.
And that beach where the water's really blue, like iridescent, like what's that beach called?
Oh, it starts with a K. No, I know that Kokonakis has just played Curios, so I kind of want to. It's kind of like Kokonakis Beach, but it's like it's like that. It's like that.
It's a Greek word, and it's unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's really, it's unbelievable. And the water was actually quite nice. It wasn't cold, and obviously depending on the side of the island that you're on will determine how warm the water is. If you're on the right hand side or the left hand side, whether it's the north or the south or the east or the west, I don't really know. But like the water's warmer on one side of the island than the other side of the island, and where we went, where that water was kind of iridescent, the water was delicious. Remember Annie was there and Atis was there, and they were just having a great time. Like it was just
divine.
It was tip top.
Divine. And we had all women with us on our most recent trip, 2019. They were the Aphrodites, the goddess of beauty.
Oh, that's right.
We've had we've had everyone gets a name. Every year has a name. We've had the Immortals.
Yeah.
I think that may have been the first year. Every year we have a name, but we are going in the height of the European summer, which is the height of the Australian winter. So you go June 12 to 21. The water will be divine. Mm-hmm. We would love to have you there if it feels like the right thing for you to do to re-energize yourself back in Europe, and specifically on the Greek island where people forget to die. This is the 100 Not Out Mediterranean Longevity Experience, June 12 to 21. Applications made at 100notout.com. All the questions are there. Everything is answered. All the time, all the money, how it works, if it's twin share, if you need a room by yourself. It's just a $100 deposit once people actually are accepted. Everything is laid out there, all the inclusions, all the things you need to organise before. But as I said, everything is at 100notout.com. Any questions, just send me an email, marcus@marcuspierce.com.au. Damo, I know everyone just wants to know before we finish up, you mentioned Nude Beach at the beginning. I just think it's really important that you just tie off this episode by letting people know that you do not... Well, I'll let you. Do you go nude?
No, I don't go nude. No way. No, never. Like, that's just not what I do. That's not the kind of human I am, Piercy. And I'll let them leave it to their imagination about what you look like nude. Even though they will see it when we go to Ikaria, but it's now.
Let us just be clear.
The little beach
in Australia, even. We don't have a massive nude beach culture in Australia. There's a couple. There's one down where I live in. There's one in Niagara, but largely Australians aren't massive nude beaches. Yeah. But in Europe, if you haven't travelled to Europe before, they are quite comfortable getting their gear off at the beach in public. Mm-hmm. But I think they do it quite, tastefully. Politely and tastefully.
Yeah.
And it is just a walk from where we are. But if you are concerned that you're coming on a 10-day nudist expedition, don't worry. You can keep your clothes on the entire time.
Yeah, you don't have to take them off.
It's encouraged.
It's encouraged to keep them on. So you it depends on who's traveling. The Germans really love to get their kit off. But you'll notice that the Italians don't. So it's kind of funny. Yeah. Anyway, it's really interesting. Another cultural immersion, of course. And of course, if you feel like you want to get your kid off, go for gold. There's no judgment. But it's every beach in Ikaria would be considered a nude beach, because it's okay to do that. It's just
it's kind of like Europe full off, isn't it?
It just happens to be 400 meters from where we stay. So that's all. That's all.
This has been a fun episode as always, folks. Again, the videos are on the website, the photos, all the information, 100notout.com. June 12 to 21 next year. Go check it out. Damo, cannot wait to go on this trip with you. Go down to your travel agent, talk to Megan, book those flights, as I will. Helen Pogo says, you are selling it so well.
Are we not? I think it's a great thing. If anybody does need help with flights and organising it, we will get a special deal with these people. They're actually friends of mine and friends of the show. They do love 100.
We are going up in the world if we have an official travel partner to be able to book flights with. That's big.
Yeah,
I feel like we've made it. Just that.
Yeah, we don't need any other sponsors. That's it for us. How good's that?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. Can you give them a plug, or is it too early? Do we need to sign on the dotted line?
Well, it's Lidstrom Klein, and they're based in Sandringham. And so I am working out details with them at the moment, and I'll come back to everybody and let you know how we go.
Love it. Good work. Well, to everyone that's going to join us, we can't wait to have you with us in 2023. Gosh, it sounds like it's hard to comprehend 2023, but that's when it's happening, June 12 to 21. Look forward to having you join us. All the applications can be done at 100notout.com. Damo, as always, thank you for your wisdom and your humour on this edition of 100 Not Out.
Thank you, Piercy. It's such a great... I'm so excited. I'm pumped. And thank you for bringing this topic to the fore. Always good to chat about Ikaria.
Efadistol to you,
Efadistol.
100notout.com. And for more on Damo, head on over to damianchristoph.com, myself, marcuspierce.com.au. And until next week, episode 495, can you believe it? We look forward to helping you make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Bye for now.
Oh, good one.
Good, great. Thanks for all your comments, Helen. It was great. All your laughs, Pete. I am a little bit travel sick. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been away, so I'm going to jump on a plane this Saturday. I'm flying again this Saturday, heading up to Sydney.
Are you coming up my way? Sydney.
Yeah. No, I'm heading up to Brizzy in 2 weeks' time. Yeah.
Great. Let me know.
I will. Thanks, Helen. Thanks, Helen.
Thanks, Helen. Goat latte. Definitely going to order a goat latte when we get to Ikaria.
Do you reckon on our 500th we could just add everyone to the call and we just have like a big chat?
You just want to Oh, yeah, like visually.
Yeah, like have like a big...
Yeah, we'll have a Zoom meeting.
The whole screen.
Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, we'll find a way.
The whole screen.
Come
and we
Noosa
could have like
golf.
Yeah, I'd love to come to Noosa and play golf. I love Noosa. But I reckon if we had like a whole screen of Zoom attendees and that...
Yeah.
And like 500 could be, if...
Love it. Song and dance. I'm up for that.
Could be super cool.
Yep. Bit of technology to organise at Vita to make that happen. But
imagine only 11 people turn up. That wouldn't be very good.
Have we mentioned anything about our 500th? Did I just drop the bomb? No, we haven't mentioned it.
No, we haven't mentioned it.
Shindig at Vita? No. All right, we'll do that another time.
Yeah, we'll do that another time.
All right, say bye to Facebook before we drop more.
See you, Facebook. Bye.
All right, Facebook. Thanks again. Thank you.